So we return home from what's left of Lian Yu, and we're all wondering, who's left? That's right, today we are reviewing Season 6 of the CW's Arrow. And, of course, I gotta have the little guy in the background right there hanging out with me, and I also got my Vigilante Club shirt on, which is a Stephen Amell shirt. But let's just get right into it. This is going to be a very quick video. I'm going to go through everything about this season, and then I'm going to give my final thoughts. So let's just get into it. Now, we get back to Star City, and immediately we start wondering, who's still alive after the Season 5 cliffhanger where Lian Yu is just blown to shreds? Now, the whole team is back, and no harm is done. Well, except for John, and of course we will come back to that later. But we see that William's mom died on the island, unfortunately, but that's about it. Everyone else pretty much survived. This season, there was a lot of storylines, sometimes too many to keep up with. We had a few episodes with Slade Wilson looking for his son with Oliver, which is probably the last time we will see Slade Wilson as a character on Arrow. And the reason that is because the character is going to be a part of an upcoming DCEU movie, and we have no idea how long that's going to take. So that may be the last we see of Slade Wilson. We also have the story of Lance trying to get through to Earth 2 Laurel and make her back to Earth 1, which eventually led to his death, which is a very sad part. I'm very sad to see that Lance is gone. Then we have the whole Caden James arc in the first half of the season where he's trying to avenge his son's death. And that arc left a very sour taste in my mouth how it ended. You know, I actually really enjoyed Caden as a villain and thought he would be a really good big bad for the whole season, but he was killed off, I believe, in the mid-season finale. Then we go into the whole Ricardo Diaz plot where he has taken over the city and it's Oliver's job to get it back, like usual. In that time, he's impeached as mayor, goes to trial being accused of the Green Arrow, and then Tommy Merlin, yes, that Tommy, comes in and confesses to being the Green Arrow. Don't worry, Tommy's still dead, it was just the human target posing as Tommy. We also have an arc with Thea and the League of Assassins. Roy returns and his name is cleared, which is great, and Thea leaves the show forever as a season regular. I mean, I expect her to make some cameos in the later seasons, but for now, she is gone. Which brings up another topic. Roy is back next season as a season regular, which means he'll be back on the team. I'm really looking forward to seeing how he veggies with the rest of Team Arrow. And to end it all off, we have the first big bad villain that goes over into another season, which is very interesting to me. Usually we tie up all the loose ends in the season finale, but Diaz is still out there, and he will be back next season as a villain. And then we also have the whole arc about how the whole team is crushed. They're gone. Oliver, it got to a point where Oliver was doing it all by himself. And there was also a point where Oliver was under trial with the FBI and Dig was being the Green Arrow. But it got to the point where everyone needed to work together to get one goal. That was to defeat Ricardo Diaz. I think if they had not have gotten back together as a team, it wouldn't have happened. And last but not least, we have to talk about Oliver. He gives himself up as the Green Arrow and is thrown in prison. He finally, after 6 seasons, gives up his identity to the entire world, which is insane. He's been trying to keep it under wraps all this time to protect his family, his friends, everyone. It's out there now. It's out there. Everyone knows he is the Green Arrow. And he's thrown in prison. Yeah, I was getting some Flash vibes too. I know you were as well. But that's pretty much all that happened this season for Season 6 of Arrow. It was not my favorite season. It was up there, though. I mean, there are a few seasons that definitely come before it, but it was overall a great season. The one thing I do have to say is there was a lot of different plot holes going around that there was just so much to keep up with. You had Thea in the League of Assassins. You had Slade Wilson and his son, which I already talked about. You had Dig in his shoulder and hand. He had to get a chip implanted because of his hand and some shrapnel that got caught during the explosion. That all happened. You also have the team breaking up. You also have Oliver and Felicity, and you have the one episode where he gets drugged and he thinks all this stuff's happening. There's a lot going on. Now, I understand that this was a very complex season, especially with Ricardo Diaz and all of the other villains, because there was like 4 or 5, 6 different villains. Oh, we even learned who Vigilante was. He was the guy that was undercover with Dinah, but then she thought he died, but he really didn't. There's a lot going on there. But, you know, honestly, I think it was a great season. I think it was a really, really good season to have after a very dark Season 5. I think they brought in a lot of new dynamics, with William and Oliver having to be a dad and then him having to be a mayor. Then he loses his job as the mayor, but then he's also on trial. But then you also talk about him trying to free his name, but also trying to free Roy's name. But then Tommy comes in and then he frees Tommy's name. And then it finally gets to the end when Oliver has to give it all up, tell everyone he's the Green Arrow, and go to jail. And, I'm very, very interested to see how next season starts because, Dig has his Arrow costume, Arrow suit. I'm sorry, why did I say costume? He has his Arrow suit with him at Argus. We saw that at the end of the episode. His other people, what am I trying to say? The other members of Team Arrow are all on his side now because he gave himself up to make sure that they were immune from getting thrown in jail. So, how did you think Season 6 went? Let me know in the comments. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let me know down below. Give me your thoughts on what you hope happens in Season 7. I am very much looking forward to it. I cannot wait. It's going to be such a long summer waiting for the fall to come around, for Arrow to come around again. But that's it for today. If you enjoyed, please like, comment, subscribe, comment down below again what you thought of Season 6, and have a great rest of your day.